An annual reporting night provides St John's Community Care with the opportunity to share with you our activities and achievements over the past 12 months, highlight our objectives, goals and future vision, as well as demonstrate our enduring commitment to providing exceptional support and service delivery to our clients, their families and the community. Good evening and thank you for being here tonight. St John's Community Care acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of country and their continuing connection to their land, islands, waterways and community. We pay our respect to the First Nations people of Australia, including their respective individual cultures and their elders past, present and emerging. Please stand as His Eminence offers a prayer and blessing.
In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Ευλογήτως η Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών, ο πανσόφους τους αλείς αναδείξας, καταπέμψας αυτής το πνεύμα το Άγιον και δι' αυτόν την οικουμένην σαγηνεύσας φιλανθρώπε δόξασι. For yours is the dominion, the kingdom, and the power and the glory of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, now and ever and to the ages of ages.
On behalf of the board members of St John's Community Care, I welcome everyone here tonight and especially acknowledge and sincerely welcome our special guest, His Eminence Archbishop Makarios, Primate of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of Australia, Mayor of Cairns Regional Council Bob Manning and Mrs Manning, Deputy Mayor of Cairns Regional Council Terry James, Cairns Regional Council CEO Micah Martin, Councillor Christy Vallely, our guest speaker this evening, Yolande Ench, other dignitaries, Reverend Fathers, Mr Greg Mitchell, BDO Auditor, CEO of St John's Community Care, Sonia Leonardi, our staff and volunteers, Mr Theo Bakalakis, St John's Community Care, fellow board members, Redledge Daycare Centre staff, parishioners, and our wonderful clients who inspire and encourage us every day. A warm and sincere welcome to you all. We also have a couple of apologies. The Honourable Warren Ench, Federal Member for Leichhardt, and Councillor Brett Moller. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly honoured and blessed to have His Eminence with us this evening. He is distinguished, learned, humble, highly respected and a radiant figure of our world orthodoxy. His continued support and guidance to everyone associated with St John's Community Care is gratefully appreciated and humbly received. I now invite His Eminence to come forward.
I have written a few humble words, so I prove now this that my friend mentioned about me, that I'm humble, but in reality I don't know if I am. My words are really humble. My beloved Mayor and your lovely wife, my beloved friends, my beloved fathers, Mrs. Sonia, Mr. Theo Bakalakis, members of the board, my beloved friends, it is with great pleasure that I have this opportunity to be with you this evening on the occasion of the annual report presentation for St. John's Community Care after a very difficult and trying year, given the pandemic of the coronavirus that we are still in the midst of and trying to grapple with on all levels: physical, social, economic, and spiritual. As an activity of our Holy Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of Australia, St. John's Community Care has had to face unprecedented challenges in meeting the needs that this situation has created on all the above-mentioned levels, as well as catering to its existing clients and maintaining current services and programs for the elderly, people with disability, mental health issues, and the homeless. As your Archbishop and Shepherd, I wholeheartedly express my overwhelming pride and deep satisfaction at the way the board, management, staff, and volunteers of St. John's Community Care have handled these additional challenges and served the community, and particularly those who are most vulnerable in our society, in a safe, respectful, dignified, and professional manner. Therefore, I acknowledge and congratulate you for your tireless efforts and outstanding work, and furthermore, I convey my paternal love and call upon the management, staff, and volunteers of St. John's Community Care and all whom they serve the abundance of the Lord's blessing. And finally, I would like to remind you that we are all one family in Christ. You are part of the body of the Archdiocese. You are not an institution under the Church, but you are part of the Church. That's why it is a great blessing for us if every person who is involved in the activities of St. John's Community Care to have the feeling and the deep faith that the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of Australia is our mother and the Greek Orthodox Archbishop is our father and our shepherd. Thank you once again for everything that you have done and you consistently continue to offer for the St. John Community Care. God bless you all.
Thank you, Your Eminence. As a service provider, it is imperative that all stakeholders feel they can depend on us for reliable and trusted support, and the presentation of reports provides an insight into our community activities, funding and delivery of services over the past year. Please welcome the Chairperson of the Board of St. John's Community Care, Mr. Theo Bakalakis, to present his annual report.
Thank you, Chas. Your Eminence, distinguished guests, Reverend Fathers, management and staff of St. John's Community Care, Redlands Daycare Centre, our parishioners, members of the Greek Orthodox Parish of St. John's Philoptochos, ladies and gentlemen. As I write this, we are farewelling the 2021-2022 financial year, and what a year it has been. Along with the ongoing COVID complications, there has been a change of government, an increase in uncertainty. However, as with the previous years, we have been fortunate to continue as an essential service provider despite COVID restrictions. St. John's Community Care is celebrating 25 years of enriching people's lives in Queensland. We have a proud history of supporting the elderly and those with disability to achieve their goals and live inclusively in our community. Through personalised and responsive services and supporting people in their own homes, we assist individuals to build their self-esteem and independence. Putting people first has been and always will be at the heart of what we do, and more than ever, our services are needed by vulnerable people. I would like to acknowledge our staff's resilience and their strong ongoing commitment and dedication to bringing compassion, understanding, joy, smiles, laughter and warmth, together with friendship, to the clients that they care for and support. As we celebrate 25 successful years of service, our teams can be proud of the contributions they have made. Thank you, every team member, board member, volunteer, contractor, and equally, thank you to our incredible residents, clients and stakeholders. I would like to personally acknowledge St John's Community Care Board for their clear strategic focus, which has enabled the organisation to continue to improve and develop as a quality service provider. The board has continued to focus on strategy and performance and has retained the direct oversight of employee engagement, recruitment, retention, workplace health and safety, and there have been significant achievements over the last financial year. On behalf of the board, management and staff, I would like to thank and acknowledge the stewardship, support, guidance and love for St John's Community Care of His Eminence Archbishop Makarios. I would also like to thank and acknowledge the dedication, commitment, passion and tireless contribution of our CEO, Sonia Leonardi, and the executive team. A strength of our management structure is the relationship of inclusiveness that exists between the board, management and staff. Being involved strengthens the bond between the board and operational personnel, giving the board the opportunity to experience the culture, enthusiasm and innovation that is occurring within the organisation, and also to ensure the key areas of need are addressed, which include quality, practice and outcomes, oversight of employee engagement, reduction of negative quality and safety incidents, and positive outcomes arising from our human rights work. Remuneration approval and oversight of our remuneration strategy, which has provided incentives and reward opportunities to all employees, plus tools for management to attract and retain the best people. Audit, risk and compliance, oversight of our compliance audits, business continuity and implementation of emergency plans and a risk management framework. To conclude for this year, I would like to again acknowledge our clients and their families for welcoming us into their lives and homes and providing valuable input and feedback that helps us improve our services. To all our team members, without the huge team of multidisciplinary skills and experiences, we wouldn't be in this great position to continue to achieve our mission, to support those who need assistance, to meet their aspirations and inclusion in the community. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes many more to sustain a mission that is focused, values-driven and not-for-profit in today's fast and changing environment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Theo. As a board, we enjoy the support of an amazing leadership team led by CEO of St John's Community Care, Sonia Leonardi, who will now deliver her report.
Testing. Thank you, Theo. Alrighty, so as another chapter of another year comes to an end, it is indeed a very special one. Celebrating our 25-year anniversary is such a significant milestone and such a substantial achievement. The organisation has continued to evolve and move with the times, but we are still grounded by our mission and values that underpins everything that we do. in caring for the frail, elderly, and people living with disability in our community. This past year has seen the most significant positive change in the organisation's workforce culture, and we've embraced diversity and experience with a substantial shift from individual working-based environments to team environments across all areas. And this has provided a greater scale of efficiencies, productivity, and is achieving greater outcomes for our clients and our staff. Team members are motivated by supporting one another to deliver the best quality outcomes for our clients. Our team members share our values and foster client-focused services driven by honesty, care, and appreciation for the work we do, with 98% of the team members understanding their role in making a difference to people's lives every day. And this past year has presented us with many challenges. However, our clients have still expressed a high satisfaction rate of 96% and our staff a satisfaction rate of 97%. These changes provide confidence that sustainable success is possible with the right people to provide the maximum level of support to our clients and staff, and it's even stronger than it ever was before. And in line with our strategic goals and past success stories, we continue to see team members progress in their positions with internal career growth opportunities, and I personally find this one of the best parts of my role. And whilst the organisation navigated through this cultural change and the impacts of COVID-19 challenges, we learned many important lessons as we responded to external factors that were out of our control. Patience, understanding, and flexibility was key during this time as we focused on what was more important to deliver and provide services. With all team members, including our frontline care workers, exceeding expectations in increased communication and dedication to our clients' health and safety procedures. Thank you to all of our clients, stakeholders, for entrusting us and keeping your faith in our services over this past year. And thank you to all of our team members that made it possible. In January 2022, we welcomed Jerong, our Chief Finance Manager, and through a passion of shared vision, we were successful in shaping the organisation's leadership structure for the future. Jerong led the finance and technology teams, with many milestones being achieved, and our financial position remains strong and transparent as we continue to meet the key funding requirements. We look forward to embarking on the journey to achieve many more strategic objectives and milestones with Jerong and all the team members. And at the time of this report, we hadn't announced, but Jerong is now the Chief Operations Manager. So thank you, Jerong, for your support in this past year. Theo, along with the board, continue to provide an unwavering support and governance and leadership over this past year. With their focus on environment, sustainability, and with the success of the electric MG vehicles and the acquisition of the first electric bus fleet. The board have continued to their mission to diversify the organisation's revenue stream with the development of the Clifton Beach Retirement Project. It's already started construction, and thank you to everyone that joined us today as well in celebrating that, and especially Your Eminence. It was such a pleasure to have you there and make such a special day even more special. So thank you everyone for your ongoing support. And in addition to the renovation upgrades, majority of all of the offices have now been completed. So all of our offices now have modern working environments, which ensures that our infrastructure further aligns with our professional working standards. I'd like to acknowledge Theo Bakalakis and the board members for not just this past year, but for achieving this such significant milestone of 25 years of celebration. For me personally, it is an honour to work alongside such a dedicated and committed founding members with such clear direction and vision for the future. So thank you. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to His Eminence Archbishop Macarius for his dedication and commitment to St. John's Community Care, and with your humble leadership and support, it always brings me such joy and happiness to have you visit us. And as we look into the future with such positive determination and spirit, we are confident that we are united, that as a team that we will continue to provide community services that exceed expectations. And I would like to also express a thank you and my sincere appreciation for the continued support that I receive from all of the stakeholders in carrying out my role, as it would not be possible without you. So thank you, everyone. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. The finance and auditing responsibilities for St John's Community Care undertaken by BDO Cairns. Joining us this evening is Mr Greg Mitchell, Audit and Advisory Partner with BDO, who will present the financial report together with Drong View, our Chief Operations Officer. Please welcome Greg and Drong.
Thank you, everyone. As Theo and Sonia mentioned, 2022 has been a very challenging year with COVID-19, isolation rules, changes with funding regulations, and also the economic challenges. It has been a very challenging year. However, St. John's has been able to perform very well in these conditions. And in terms of the financial performance, St. John's achieved a net surplus of $1.8 million in the year. And at 30 June 2022, we had total assets of $22.7 million. And predominantly, this is made up of cash, $18.8 million. So that means St. John's is in a very strong financial position and in a very strong liquid position as well. This does provide St. John's with the opportunity to invest in its people, invest in systems, processes, and also opportunities out there in communities as well. For example, the Allington Lifestyle Apartments. So St. John's is in a very good financial position to pursue those projects. During the year, our three main sources of revenue were the home care packages, NDIS, and Commonwealth Home Support Program. In regards to the home care packages, our packages continue to grow from strength to strength. So in the 2022 financial year, the number of packages that St. John's managed increased by 36%. And at 30 June 2022, we were managing 385 packages. We are 3 months into the new financial year, and this has already reached over 400 packages. So this, for St. John's, continues to be a growing area. In regards to the NDIS, we have been able to maintain a consistent number of clients and also a consistent number of services throughout the year. Additionally, the NDIA has understood that service providers do play a very important role in the communities. And what they have done is they have assigned St. John's with a dedicated engagement officer. And we've had a number of meetings with the engagement officer in regards to compliance matters, specific client issues, and also clarifications around the claims and claims process, etc. We will continue to build our relationship with the NDIA. In regards to the Commonwealth Home Support Program, this program has now been extended to 30 June 2024. So we have funding secured up to 2024 and have that certainty there. We continue to meet all the targets set by the department, and in some areas we have overachieved or over-delivered. That does show that there is a bit of demand in certain areas, and all the data that we collect do get reported to the department, so it's great that the department can actually see that there is demand for certain services within our community. Overall, we continue to meet our reporting and compliance and audit obligations with all of our funding agreements and all of the departments as well. Internally, the teams, we continue to improve the way we work, improve our systems, policies, procedures, in order to meet the changing and challenging environment that we're in at the moment. And additionally, with change, we do look for change in terms of supporting our growth and also our business ventures as well. I want to personally thank Theo, Sonia, and the board for the direction. In my short time here, I've I've learnt a lot, and I'm hoping to continue to work with all of you in the long term. To the individual teams, I've had the pleasure of working with all the teams at St. John's, and there is a lot that I will continue to learn as well, but it's really the team who puts in all the effort throughout the year to achieve these financial results. So I congratulate you and thank you for your support. And I look forward to working with all of you in the coming year.
So I'm the audit partner from BDO, so we're going to take the audit of St John's. So I confirm that the numbers there that Drong put up are correct. So it's a very strong financial position, but on top of that, it has very strong controls and processes and continues to invest in those processes to make sure they're best practice and up to date with technology going forward. Again, this year, our audit report is a clean audit report saying it's an unqualified audit opinion. So again, a good achievement that continues to happen every year for this organisation. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg and Drong. Also joining us this evening is Lucy Dos Santos, Director of the Redlands Daycare Centre, who will present our next report.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to take a moment to speak about Daycare Centre. At Redlands Daycare Centre, we implemented the Australian-approved curriculum, the Early Years Learning and Development Framework, and the Queensland Kindergarten Learning Guidelines. Play-based learning is the foundation of our curriculum. Play-based learning provides opportunities for children to actively, imaginatively engage with people, objects, and the environment. When playing, children can organize, construct, manipulate, explore, investigate, and create their own little worlds. Additionally, interacting and negotiating with their peers, they can learn to make sense of their worlds. It promotes the holistic development of a child, this being their physical, social, emotional, cognitive, and creative development. Depending on how it is utilized, it might support a broad range of literacy and numeracy skills. The teacher's role in scaffolding play is pivotal. It's important to us that each family feels welcome and respected in our safe and secure environment. We believe in creating an environment that is inclusive and supportive of all cultural beliefs and embraces every child, family, and staff member. We value and build on children's strengths, interests, abilities, and cultural traditions. We also use different strategies to extend children's learning and thinking. We focus on collaboratively partnership with families and the community. The preschool children join the St. John's Community Care every Wednesday for some fun learning activities. This includes arts and sustainability and lots of sharing love. The junior kindy, senior kindy, and preschool children participate in yoga gymnastics with Ms. Leanne. We incorporate parent participation in our programs and events. When parents and educators collaborate, it strengthens the children's identity and enhances their learning. We believe strong partnership with families supports children to develop trust and confidence with the learning environment, enabling children to develop and grow. Thank you for your attention. It was a privilege to speak to all of you. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us this evening as our guest speaker is Yolande Ench. Yolande is a passionate, committed, and dedicated advocate for empowering women of all ages, backgrounds, and cultures to find their voice, to become part of the decision-making processes, and to create opportunities for all women, no matter their circumstances, geography, education, or employment status. She has a steadfast commitment to creating opportunities for women to have equality, have a voice, and have the opportunity to excel. She does this through public speaking, public programs, and volunteering her time, experience, and skills to help others. Please welcome Yolande.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having me here tonight, and to our distinguished guests. I feel very honoured and humbled to be standing here before you in such an esteemed organisation. Tonight I will be talking to you about Wheels of Wellness, and even though my focus for many years has been on women, I seem to spend a lot of time with homeless men at the moment. Wheels of Wellness started in 2015 as a program run through Stratford Medical Centre, and in 2020 we became a charity and an organisation in our own right. I'm not sure that's going to work. Oh, scroll. While we're working out the pictures. I've included some pictures I think pictures speak 1,000 words, so I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey. And we started, as I said, as a program, and in 2020 we became an official organisation, and in 2021 we actually moved into our own premises, the old CWA Hall on Grove Street. Our program was set up to provide primary health care to people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. In the last quarter of the financial year, I can tell you that 364 people who are sleeping rough in Cairns CBD utilised our services. We have over 700 active people on our books engaged with our GPs. This photo here was taken at the hub, and the hub became about organically. It wasn't our intention. So what happened was we had this big, beautiful space, and we thought, let's make it available to clients who had a doctor's appointment, and we could offer them a cup of tea and coffee, and they could come and spend time in a safe environment while they waited to see the doctor, the social worker, or our Indigenous health worker. And this is what happened. Very quickly, we'd opened a floodgate. We can see up to 80 people a day. We're open Monday to Friday between 8:30 and 12:30. Our gates open at 7:30 in the morning, and people wait to come in. We offer breakfast. We have 4 stretcher beds so people can sleep in a safe place. Sadly, some of the stories we hear about our rough sleepers in and around Cairns is tragic. So we've got ladies who are being sexually assaulted. They deliberately sleep under cameras in the CBD because they know that if anything was to happen to them, that the police can go back and track that down. However, Many Aboriginal women choose not to go down that path because they've got to go to court and they don't want to speak up about some of those horrendous things. All of the people in that photograph are using the hub, but they're also part of our GP program and being seen by our doctors. What this allows us to do is keep people out of the emergency department. Not always, because as soon as it starts raining, there's lots of homeless folks who turn up at ED with chest pains. And if you've got a chest pain, they have to take you in. If we could have the next slide, please. And we'll go down to the next one. So we have a mobile van and we go out to where we know people are. So whether that's out in camps, we also partner with Rosie's and Orange Sky. And on a Thursday night, we're down at Barlow Park. Thank you to Council for allowing us to use that space. We also do outreaches at diversionary centres. So that's where a lot of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are intoxicated, that's where they'll spend the night. So we'll be there in the morning. And we do see a lot of wounds. And the other thing we do is assess people and transfer them across to our GP service. Next slide. We have, well, one of our first outreach clinics in 2015, I was a volunteer along with Dr. Amanda Roberts, was inside the Cairns Villa and Leisure Park. Has everyone heard of the Cairns Villa and Leisure Park? Okay, it was the number 1 or 2 crime hotspot in Cairns for many, many years. And none of the services wanted to actually go into the park, A, because it's private property, and B, because it wasn't safe. So we ran our first clinic inside the park, and I went and door knocked every caravan and every villa. And although I won't say it was terrifying, there were a couple that I would move on quickly from. And we're still there to this day. Next slide, please. We also utilise church car parks. We will pack up our kit and go into camps. So for those people who are aware that there's a camp that's been set up behind TAFE, there's about 30 odd, well, there were about 30 odd people living there. Most of those clients would come and see us during the day because not only could they sleep safely and get a meal, they can also wash their clothes. Next slide. So the gentleman who's laying down there, Dobsy, when we first met him 4 years ago, he was homeless and he described himself as a monster. He's been in and out of jail. He is a perpetrator of domestic violence and he's got 7 plates in his head. I'm sharing all this information because if he was standing here with me, he would tell you that himself, and I have his permission. Dobsy is one of my most valuable volunteers. Dobsy works up to 38 hours a week in the hub, and all of our volunteers have lived experience of homelessness. The hub side of what we do in the last financial year, you'll see we had over 3,500 sign-ins. We are not funded to provide that service. We are only funded to provide a GP service. So to provide the hub service where we have up to 80 people a day, we rely on community donations and our volunteers. So Dobsy also has a set of keys to our building, which many people have told me I'm absolutely mad and crazy to allow him to come and go as he pleases. That man comes in with another one of our volunteers every weekend and strips the place, cleans it, sets it back up again. And it is through that gentleman that I have learnt a lot more than probably what I ever needed to know. Next slide, please. We love to partner. So I have a big vision for Cairns, and that is a super hub for homeless people, where all of the organisations like you guys and Anglicare and Mission and WOW, where we would all come together with a representative so that when a homeless person comes through the door like they do at the hub, they are then connected with a myriad of services. Because once we refer somebody out, I can tell you they very rarely go. And if they do go and there's any barriers to prevent them from taking that next step, they'll just return. So for us to really start addressing the issue of homelessness, really one of the issues is trauma. We need to go right back to that root cause. However, to provide services, we don't want to be asking people to be continually telling their story because they are reliving that trauma. So in that vein, we do have a police liaison officer that comes and spends time with us. And part of that process is encouraging Aboriginal people who want to return to country. We help them facilitate that. Or if they're going through the court process, we also have corrections come and spend time once a week with us so that any of the guys who are out on parole, they can actually report in at the hub rather than going into more of an institutionalised setting. We also have Mission Australia come out for their Streets to Homes program, so that's really good. Next slide. And that's just a little bit more about the services that we offer at the hub. Our view is that any of our folks who want to volunteer with us, it starts to bring that sense of meaning and purpose to their day. So if you imagine you've slept on the streets of Cairns and you're being pushed on 3 or 4 times during the night, immediately that's going to have an impact on your mental health. Before you start thinking about, where am I going to go today? How am I going to spend my time? Where am I going to eat? Having said that, we have very well-fed homeless folks in Cairns. We also invite in a hairdresser to come in, and we've got a social worker. This week is Mental Health Week, so every day we're running art activities. Next slide, please. For those people that like stats, there's some of the numbers. So more than half of our clients are Aboriginal, and I deliberately say Aboriginal as opposed to First Nations or Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander. We have very few Torres Strait Islander people who use our service. They're predominantly people who have come down from the Cape. When I think of homelessness in Cairns, I think of 3 different categories. We have our folks who come down from the Cape who generally get into that cycle of drinking and are very problematic and cause lots of issues for our city. Also have a big impact on our reputation as a tourist destination. We have other homeless people who are new to homelessness, and it's a big shock to those folks. They tend to be the easiest ones for us to work with and help them transition back into accommodation and work. And then we have those people who are chronic homeless, and they generally have significant mental health issues. Our volunteers save us $100,000 that we don't have access to keep that service running. Next slide, please. So a few facts about our volunteers. Our staff as well have been with us pretty much from the beginning since we received our funding. We are funded through the federal government. Our funding has recently been halved, but we've had a very generous philanthropic donor come on board. And at the moment we're negotiating with Queensland Health to be supporting people who are are released discharged from hospital but don't have a home to go to. You will hear lots of people talk about a housing first model when you're tackling homelessness. But in a country that has a housing crisis, in a city that has a vacancy rate of less than 0.5%, there are no homes. There are no homes for us to transition people into. From the streets, what we generally do is either transition people across to Q-Steps, which is crisis accommodation, or into a hostel. And we haven't yet been able to transition anyone into a home. Next one, please. Volunteer recruitment and retention, as I mentioned, most of our volunteers have lived experience. Well, they all do actually. I was thinking of one lady who's in a home now, but she has been a King's Cross sex worker many, many, many years ago. Grant, who's in that photo, he sadly is very addicted to drugs, and he comes in each day. He lost a foot in a car accident. It was amputated, and he gets around Cairns with a stump, and he is on NDIS but refuses to access that service. But he's a gentleman that comes in every day and sleeps, and we just check in on him. He's engaged with our doctor, engaged with our social worker. Next one. And Raymond. We love Raymond. I first met Raymond. He was living on the stage at Fogarty Park. Again, thank you to council. The police didn't move them on because they always left the place clean overnight. And the reason Raymond turns 60 next year, intellectually, he's about 6 years of age. He is one of our volunteers. And yes, as I said, when I met him, he was living on the stage at Fogarty Park. He's now living at the asylum, which is actually a hostel, for those of you that don't know, because the first time I heard people mentioning the asylum, I thought, oh gosh, but to think that it's a hostel called asylum is very appropriate for our folks. But I guess I just wanted to conclude, if anybody has any questions, burning questions that they might like to know about what it's like for people who are living on the streets of Cairns, or about someone who finds themselves homeless, I'm happy to answer them. But pretty much it's trauma is that big issue, and that leads to drug and alcohol use and a spiral downwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolande, for that inspiring insight. Pivotal to the growth and development of St John's Community Care are our dedicated, compassionate and hard-working staff. And I know they don't seek recognition for the care they provide. However, tonight we want to acknowledge our staff who have worked for St John's Community Care for either 5, 10, 15 years or more. I invite His Eminence, Yolande and Mayor Bob Manning to help make these presentations.
All right, not too sure how many people are joining us. We did encourage everyone to come. So Katie Fagan, you joining us tonight? Yay! Would you like to do it? Yeah. Thank you. And Romy will get some pictures. Oh, there you are. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Katie, we might get you to just stand on that side and then we'll do a group photo. Thank you. Is Yoshi here tonight? Yoshiko? Would you like to give a film? Thank you. We'll get a photo together. Yeah. Very special. Noriko? Wait a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Is Akani here as well tonight? Oh, everyone's joining us. That's great. Yeah. Thank you. I'm not too sure if Joey made it tonight. I don't think so. But I'll just recognise their names, obviously. We've got San Caltabiano celebrating his 10 years. He's from Innisfail, so it is quite a long journey for him, but we'll make sure he gets his certificate. And then Razor as well, she's from Tully, so quite a long drive for her to come up here. But if we'd like to get a group photo now with everyone together with his... Did you want to come this way a little bit more? We might go to the middle and have the PowerPoint at the back. Yep, beautiful. Thank you. Everyone's in. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. The thank yous. Yeah. Alrighty. Yes. Yeah. Alrighty, so just quickly before we wrap everything up, thank you again everyone for your patience. Just quickly, Yolande, thank you so much for your presentation. Can we give everyone another round of applause? It's such an inspiration to hear everything that you do, and St. John's Community Care has never been about duplicating services. We've always been about, celebrating and being part of those that are already doing it. So I definitely look forward to catching up with you a little bit more, because I already see ways that we could also connect and share those services. So yeah, very exciting times, and thank you for joining us tonight. I know it was a little bit short notice as well. So thank you. We've also got a small gift for Yolande as well. Yeah, if you like to give. No worries. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, enjoy. And obviously, we'd like to thank Chaz for his speaker and hosting tonight. Thank you so much, Chaz, and every other year as well. So thank you, Chaz. And obviously, Your Eminence, thank you so much again for travelling here all the way from Sydney. It's I know how busy your schedule is, and thank you so much for joining us and celebrating such a special night with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our annual reporting evening, and I sincerely thank you all for your continuing support, assistance, and advocacy for the community and the work undertaken by St. John's. A very special thank you to His Eminence and his words of support and encouragement, and for being here with us tonight. I also extend a warm and sincere thank you to Yolande Ange for sharing with us her knowledge, wisdom and expertise, and your presence here tonight is sincerely appreciated. Yes, thank you. We would also like to acknowledge the support of our funding bodies who make it possible for us to undertake this important work. To our valued clients, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your lives. Finally, a sincere thank you to the entire St. John's Community Care community. Each and every one of you, no matter what your position or role, employee, parishioner or volunteer, you all play an integral role in our success. Thank you, and a safe journey home.
And you can all grab a report on your way out. So thank you. And thank you, Sean, for all of your tech support. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. I'll turn it off for you now.
Well done.
Thank you.
Make one suggestion.
Yeah.
I think would it not be better to have the lights on the stage and the
Oh,
audience
yeah.
in the dark?
Yeah, yeah.
The other
We
way.
split it last year.
I'm looking at thinking, I think it's the wrong way around.
Yeah, that's all right.
But just a suggestion.
Thank
but
you.
Otherwise, great.
Thank
Fantastic.
you.
All good speeches. Very, very good.
Awesome. Tried to make it quick. It was, yeah.
No, it was great.
Yeah, thank you, David.
Welcome.
Alrighty, the main man's just there. Did you have to run?
No.
No? Alright, thank you so much for
wanna
coming.
talk to you.
Oh, just leave it here. Yeah, all good.